John, will you lead us in the pledge? Call the roll.
Brian Blakeman.
Here.
Glass.
Here.
Gideon.
Here.
Sheridan.
Here.
Forrest Blakeman.
Here.
Bevins.
Here.
Patterson.
Here. I need the approval of the Wednesday, June the 26th, 2024 regular meeting minutes. I need a motion and second.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and second for the minutes for June the 26th. Is there any discussion? Call the roll.
Glass.
Aye.
Bevins.
Aye.
Forrest Blakeman.
Aye.
Sheridan.
Aye.
Brian Blakeman.
Aye.
Gideon.
Aye.
Patterson.
Aye, motion carries. I have no guest speakers, so the next thing is the mayor's report.
Okay, we got a few things here. First, received a letter from Bristol Village, from Amy Woods, the director there. And of course, everybody knows last Wednesday was the Bristol Village Parade that they do on the 3rd. And she just wanted to send a letter and thank everybody that participated and make sure that I pass on those thanks. So I know John was involved, Tom, myself. Am I missing anybody else that was in the parade? But a huge turnout. It was a big parade. I think she said it was 20 minutes long.
Oh, yeah, every bit.
So, but I just wanted to pass that on, and I appreciate everybody taking time for that.
If you would, please thank the fire department and police department. too,
Yes,
'cause
the
that-
fire department, I was looking at here, but yeah, she does, and she says it in here, the police and the fire departments that were involved also, so we'll publicly do that. So, next I have a letter of retirement from John Forrest. He's going to retire from the wastewater treatment plant, effective, his last day will be July 31st. So, as of August 1st, we need to fill that position. So what I'd like for us to do is, if we could just go ahead and post that position and get it to where we can get the personnel committee and myself, and we get the interview done and move on as far as trying to get somebody hired so they can just transition into that. And he's gave me a letter of somebody that works for him, that, because you have to have certain qualifications to do that job, so. But if that's okay with council, then we'll move forward and go ahead and post that position.
That has to be posted in-house.
Yes,
And,
that's why I'm asking for, and they have to meet the qualifications.
yeah, and meet the qualifications. There is quite a
Okay,
qualification.
could I have a motion to?
I'll make that motion.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay.
Put those in the,
Okay. Then I would like to have John here for our next council meeting, which will be the 24th, because that'll be his last week of work. But if that's okay with council, have him come in for the last meeting. So-
Good man, good man. Been
Yes,
here
he
a long
is.
time.
Yes, he is. So,
Yeah.
okay, so I need to call a roll on the posting of the job for, to replace John Voorhees. So call the roll.
Sheridan.
Aye.
Brian Blakeman.
Aye.
Bevins.
Aye.
Forrest Blakeman.
Aye.
Gideon.
Aye.
Glass.
Aye.
Patterson.
Aye, motion carries. Now I need a motion to accept his resignation to retire.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, I have a motion and second to
And
that.
That, I want to say that's with regrets, because
All
I
right.
really like John.
yeah.
Right, call the roll.
Bevins.
Aye.
Forrest Blakeman.
Aye.
Glass.
Aye.
Gideon.
Aye.
Brian Blakeman.
Aye.
Sheridan.
Aye.
Patterson.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay, I'm going to pass this around. Also, it has everybody's name on it. If you would sign it. It is a application submitted by the Pike County Chamber of Commerce. It's for the AGCI Seed Grant Program Letter of Support. That's what this is for. We're teaming up with the Chamber of Commerce and Piketon and Waverly and all of us together. You can read it, but I'll pass it around if everybody wouldn't mind signing it. I'm also going to pass around the fair schedule to where if everybody could take a look, and if there's a time on here that you could go down to the fairgrounds, I'm going to try to be there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night, 4 to 8. So if anybody can sign and add your name in a slot here, take a look at the schedule and see what you can do. So I'll pass that around. I'll set it that way, and then that's going that way.
I'll pass it on for right now. I gotta find out what my date's gonna be.
I gotta look at my calendar.
Okay. Then we got from the Rural King, I think it's that, I don't know what it is, the incentive thing that was signed years ago.
Yeah.
But for this half, the income taxes paid were $94,273.69. The credit that they earned was $66,753.78. So after credit, what we got was $27,519.91. So I just want to make council aware of those numbers for this time.
Okay.
I know, and I just want everybody to know, I know there's been concerns on the no left turn signs that were put up on Market Street. That is just temporary where they're at. They are going up on the light pole where the street lights are, so you'll be able to see them better. We just gotta wait until we can get the means to get them up there, and also have to make sure we got the proper brackets. So, that's just temporary, so you can pass that on to everybody, that is not permanent. And then I do have an issue that we need to go into executive session after the meeting for an employee discipline problem, so. Oh, one more thing, I did receive this, didn't know what it is, I just thought I'd bring it to council, what you guys saw it. The Back to School Bash is down at the fairgrounds on Saturday, August 10th. They sent and said if there was anything that we would like to participate. Don't know if you guys have in the past, I just thought I'd bring it up and see what council thinks of, if they want to do anything. They say they'll take donations, or they'll take supplies, or whatever, so I didn't know. I can pass this around so you can see what it is, but
Can we put this on a webpage?
yes, we can. And that would actually be a good idea. Oh, and I also
Can we
wanted
do
to,
an all-call?
we're gonna put it on our website though, but I really wanted to publicly, I guess I gotta get a pen mic on that. I really wanted to publicly thank, I don't know if you guys have drove in from the north part of town and our block wall that we have there. I call it the block wall, but I guess it's the stone wall. That's our Waverly sign. First Baptist Church and Pastor Josh Ramey, they basically repainted the sign, fixed the letters that were broke, power washed it, cleaned up all around it, and it really looks good. So if you get a chance, if you haven't seen it, go up there and take a look at it. But I really appreciate the work they did, and that was a volunteer thing that they asked if they could do something, and we gave them that project, and they really did well. So just wanted to thank them.
Are the lights working on that sign?
You know, I don't know. I haven't went up there tonight to see if they are, but I need to go up there at night, and if they're not, we need to get that
They don't
fixed.
currently work, but they did work.
They don't currently work for us,
No.
so we need to get that fixed.
Check it.
They're
We need to get
there.
that.
They're there, I don't know why they don't work.
Okay, so,
I mean, I've never seen it on when I've come in town after dark.
well, that should be one of those automatic ones too, I believe. So, we'll check into that to make sure we can get that light fixed. We did check on the street lights. The new lights have not come in yet. We're still waiting on State Electric for those to come in. So as soon as those do, we'll be taking care of the street lights through town. That's all I have, sir.
All right, thank you. Next is committee reports. Personnel Committee, John Gideon.
Nothing to report.
Okay. Next one is Public Service, Angel.
I have nothing to report.
Okay. Zoning, Brian.
Nothing to report.
Okay. Public Safety, Forrest.
I don't have anything in public services to say at this time, but I've got a few things I do want to say later on, okay?
All right. Next one is Recreation, Skimmer.
I do not have any updates for the recreation department specifically, but like Forrest, I'll probably have something else to say if I can find what I need to say. So I'll bring that up once I find what I need to say.
Okay.
I can mention, again, it has nothing to do with recreation, but we got a phone call from David Zanny, who's an executive with Adena Pike Medical Center, and there are some tables that have opened up for Adena Pike's gala event, Havana Nights, on Saturday evening, and they have offered those seats to the village. So if the mayor, any council members, or other Waverly officials would like to attend, they could do so free of charge. Shelley and Danielle had actually already purchased tickets to represent the village at the event. In hindsight, that may not have been necessary, but at the time, we did not know that. If anyone's interested, they can let David know. I'll pass this around. It's got his phone number listed. Everybody should have received an email today, but I do want to, I guess, just take the opportunity to thank David and Adena for reaching out to us and offering those seats to us so that we can be represented at the gala, and again, free of charge. So I will not be available on Saturday, but I would encourage anyone and everybody who can attend to do so. if at all
I will be
possible.
attending, and I spoke with David earlier today. I think the best way, if you are wanting to have a seat quickly, would be to email him. Seems to be that that's the best way to contact him.
Did anybody not receive that email? Or not know if they received it?
I believe it went to everyone.
I think it did. Okay. So his contact information is in there.
I don't get email, but I'd like to attend.
Get it, Mr. Gideon.
Thank you.
That's all I have right now.
All right, thank you. Next is finance. Christina?
General fund beginning balance, $889,241.46. General fund payables, $24,038.90. Capital improvements, 2%, $115,232.12. And the general fund balance is $749,970.44.
All right, thank you. Next is, is old business, ordinance 48-2024. This is the third of the three readings. It
I-
has,
Tom, I'd like to make a motion to table this ordinance for this meeting. I do have a conference call tomorrow that will give us the final bit of information that we need to move forward, so I need to table it for this evening.
table it
Second
until
that,
the
'cause
next
I was gonna
meeting.
say the same motion.
Okay,
Yeah.
do I have a second on the table motion? Is it?
Forrest did.
Forrest did, okay, all right. Call the roll.
Forrest Blakeman,
Aye.
Brian Blakeman,
Aye.
Glass,
Aye.
Sheridan,
Aye.
Gideon,
Aye.
Bevins,
Aye.
Patterson.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, next one is ordinance 53, excuse me, 53-2024, third of three readings. Let's see, okay, this one has also been read in entirety. If you want to read it by title only, and we can vote on it.
I'll make a motion to read it by title only.
I'll second that.
And I have a motion, title only, and a second. Call the roll.
Glass,
Aye.
Bevins,
Aye.
Brian Blakeman,
Aye.
Sheridan,
Aye.
Forrest Blakeman,
Aye.
Gideon,
Aye.
Patterson.
Aye, motion carries. All right, Skimmer, you want to read
Yep.
the title?
Ordinance 53-2024, Village of Waverly vacation of alley located on property at 313 West Second Street, Waverly, Ohio. The purpose of this ordinance is to vacate an alley located on 313 West Second Street, Waverly, Ohio.
Okay,
We've looked at this before, haven't we? I mean, yeah, we've looked at this before.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we've already
It's okay,
discussed
but,
this.
yeah,
Okay, so,
I don't-
you want to make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, you got a second?
I'll make a motion or second, but
The seconds, we need a second. Okay, Forrest made the second. All right. Is there any further discussion on this ordinance?
no, I think, I said something about it the last time, I just didn't know where it was at, and I think
Okay.
I know where it's at, and it hadn't existed forever.
Never,
No, never,
never.
never.
I don't know
The
about
property-
never, but
Well,
Well,
Back
it
in
was-
forever.
never,
Back in
ever.
not in forever.
In the original plat, it did exist, but the buildings were built right on top of it, you know?
Yep.
so-
I still can't believe you don't remember where that is, Forrest.
Okay, here we go. Call the roll.
Brian Blakeman,
Aye.
Glass,
Aye.
Gideon,
Aye.
Sheridan,
Aye.
Forrest Blakeman,
Aye.
Bevins,
Aye.
Patterson.
Aye, motion carries. Next, under new business, we have Resolution 59-2024. Second and third readings are dispensed. The purpose is to authorize the signing of an engagement letter for the Foreman Lane Gravity Sewer Rehabilitation Project. Skimmer?
Love it. Resolution 59-2024. A resolution authorizing the signing of an engagement letter for the Foreman Lane Gravity Sewer Rehabilitation Project. Whereas the Village of Waverly wishes to sign an engagement letter with McNamee Law Group, LLC, for legal services related to the Foreman Lane Gravity Sewer Rehabilitation Project. And whereas the engagement letter is attached hereto as Exhibit A. Now therefore be it resolved by the Village of Waverly, Pike County, Ohio as follows. Section 1, the Village Council of Waverly, Ohio, for and on behalf of the Village of Waverly, is hereby authorized to enter into the contract with Spectrum. Section 2, Richard Henderson, Mayor, and Debbie Whaley, Auditor, are hereby authorized to sign the engagement letter attached hereto as Exhibit A. Section 4, that this resolution shall be in full force at the earliest date allowed by law. The second and third readings of this resolution are hereby dispensed with, at least 5 members of council concurring. I so move.
I second.
Okay.
It should say McNamee Law Group LLC. Can I revise Section 1? So Section 1, the Village Council of Waverly, Ohio, for and on behalf of the Village of Waverly is hereby authorized to enter into the contract with McNamee Law Group LLC. That makes more sense.
Is,
I
this,
so move.
is this, oh, you on, okay.
Okay, so we gotta make it
Skimmer,
cor-
does yours say Spectrum on it?
Yeah, it does.
Everybody's does?
Yeah.
Mine, yeah.
Would you like for me to read?
I have the right one.
Do you?
Yeah, I must have got it, when I made your guys's, I must have put the right one, because I had 2 different ones, so this is the correct one if you
Should I
wanna-
reread the entire?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. You just read the section that needs to be
I think it's already been
changed.
corrected verbally, and if we
And then
have
we
the
can
written
correct-
correction,
Yeah.
All
that'll
we
be
do is
fine.
make a correction.
Hey, I'm not asking to, I'm
This
just
is-
asking if we
We've
should.
got it here. Well, actually,
That does say Spectrum right there also. She's
The top one. Well, maybe it's.
yeah, it
It's
does
just-
say, it does.
It's just section
Okay.
1 has it.
So that needs to be, okay.
McNamee Law Group,
McNamee, yeah.
LLC.
That makes more sense.
Okay. I will make sure that's corrected before you guys sign it.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna vote for the change from Spectrum to McNamee. I need a motion for that.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion second. So call a roll for that.
Gideon,
Aye.
Sheridan,
Aye.
Glass,
Aye.
Brian Blakeman,
Aye.
Forrest Blakeman,
Aye.
Bevins,
Aye.
Patterson.
Aye, motion carries. Now I'm on a motion and a second for 59-2024 as corrected.
I'll make that motion.
I'll
Okay,
second that.
all right. Call the roll.
Sheridan,
Aye.
Bevins,
Aye.
Brian Blakeman,
Aye.
Gideon,
Aye.
Glass,
Aye.
Forrest Blakeman,
Aye.
Patterson.
Aye, motion carries. All right, we take care of that one. Next one up is 60-2024. The second and third readings are dispensed. The purpose is to amend Chapter 4 of the 2024 Employee Policy Procedure Manual.
Mm-hmm.
Skimmer?
Ordinance 60-2024, an ordinance to amend Chapter 4 of the 2024 Employee Policy and Procedure Manual. The purpose of this ordinance is to amend Chapter 4 of the 2024 Employee Policy and Procedure Manual. Whereas the Village of Waverly wishes to amend Chapter 4 of the 2024 Employee Policy and Procedure Manual, and whereas the amendments to Chapter 4 of the 2024 Employee Policy and Procedure Manual are attached hereto as Exhibit A. Therefore, be it ordained by the legislative authority of the Village of Waverly, by the Council for the Village of Waverly, State of Ohio, that Section 1, Chapter 4 of the 2024 Employee Policy and Procedure Manual is hereby amended to reflect Exhibit A attached hereto. Section 2, this ordinance shall Section 2, this ordinance shall become effective on the earliest date allowed by law. Section 3, all prior ordinances which conflict with the provisions of this ordinance are hereby repealed to the extent that they are in conflict herewith. Section 4, it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the passage of this ordinance were taken and adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council and of any of its committees that resulted in such formal action were in meetings open to the public and in compliance with all legal requirements, including but not limited to Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. The second and third readings of this ordinance are hereby dispensed with. At least 5 members of council concurring. I so move.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second for ordinance 60-2024. Is there any discussion?
Is this one that pertains to, the time and a half over 40 hours? Is that's what this is about? I mean, is that what that's about?
Exhibit A on the third page of this.
Yeah. That's what.
See, that's what it relates to.
That's what it's about, right? Okay.
Yes.
Well, we had discussion before about, okay.
Yeah, I think it just cleans up the language that was there.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Any further discussion? Call the roll.
Brian Blakeman,
Aye.
Bevins,
Aye.
Glass,
Aye.
Forrest Blakeman,
Aye.
Gideon,
Aye.
Sheridan,
Aye.
Patterson.
Aye. Motion carries. Next one is ordinance 61-2024. One of 3 readings. This will be the first reading to create regulations regarding residential fence and/or hedges.
Got it.
You want to read that one?
Love to.
Go for it.
Ordinance 61-2024, an ordinance to regulate residential fences and/or hedges. The purpose of this ordinance is to create regulations regarding residential fences and/or hedges. This is going to be a tough one. Whereas the Village of Waverly wishes to regulate residential fences and/or hedges, therefore be it ordained by the legislative authority of the Village of Waverly, by the Council for the Village of Waverly, State of Ohio, that Section 1, residential fences and/or hedges in Waverly are hereby regulated according to Exhibit A attached hereto. Section 2, this ordinance shall become effective on the earliest date allowed by law. Section 3, all prior ordinances which conflict with the provisions of this ordinance are hereby repealed to the extent that they are in conflict herewith. Section 4, it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the passage of this ordinance were taken and adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council and of any of its committees that resulted in such formal action were in meetings open to the public and in compliance with all legal requirements, including but not limited to Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code.
I know there's gonna be a discussion on this later on, Tom. Does this mean that, anybody that's got a fence, it's their responsibility to take care of it? I mean, as far as keeping the weeds and the trees and stuff from growing over on your property? I mean, that's what I was wondering.
What was the question?
Does this mean, as a property owner, and I got a fence between the properties, and it all grows up with weeds and trees and everything, is it my responsibility or the neighbor's fence that's growing on, is it his responsibility to take care of it and clear the fence off? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You go around town, you see lots of people's got fences and they're growed up with weeds and everything else, and I just wondered whose responsibility that would be to take care of them.
Probably whoever's.
I don't know that that's addressed in this in this ordinance or in this section.
Yeah. So, of course, we're gonna have to,
We'll
look
discuss
into
it.
this a little bit further.
Yeah,
And we
yeah,
may have
okay.
to do some
That's my question.
adjustments.
I just wanna know
Yeah.
if-
I know where you, I
You
know
know
what
what
you
I'm
mean
talking about.
exactly, right.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
we'll have to look into it and see.
That needs to be looked into because I don't know.
So we may have to,
anything.
yeah, we'll have to probably do
Reference which one that is.
some changes on this. So
Okay.
we have 2 more readings to go
Okay.
to get that
okay.
done, so we need, we'll
That
have
was the
to.
only question I had. I just wondered whose responsibility it was for that fence.
Yeah. Forrest, I believe that's already addressed
Yeah.
in the we already have an ordinance that addresses that. This one doesn't concern that feature of it.
I
and
think it, I
Yeah,
think
I
it
think
does,
that's
right.
more of a nuisance type issue.
Nuisance thing,
Yeah.
probably,
And this
yeah.
is more in regards to what type of fencing
Type
and
of
heights
fencing.
are
Type of
allowed.
fencing.
This
Yeah.
would be like
Yeah.
regular fence that they
This-
put
For
up.
this-
permitting purposes,
the
just to
regulations of
clarify
the
it.
fence.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll look into it,
Okay.
make sure that's what it is.
Okay, Tom,
It is.
okay.
Okay,
Look at number 3 on the exhibit A, and where it says that the fence has to be 6 inches within the property line, if that section applies to what you were talking about. That means it's all on your property.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I believe it's a
Right.
nuisance issue. It would be
Yeah,
no different
yeah,
than
yeah.
overgrown grass or trash
Yeah.
in a yard, something
Right.
like that.
Okay.
Now you can put up a fence with so many
Okay.
inches also.
That was our first reading, so we can,
Okay.
we'll look into
Okay.
that further, make
All right.
sure
That-
that's what it is.
That's fine.
Okay, next one is, 62-2024, it's an ordinance. Second and third readings are dispensed to amend ordinance 76-2023, the proposed budget appropriation for the year 2024. Skimmer?
If I may. Ordinance 62-2024. Purpose is to amend ordinance 76-2023, the proposed budget appropriations for the year 2024. Whereas it is necessary to amend ordinance 76-2023, the proposed budget appropriations for the year 2024, and whereas the following amendments are requested. Fire Fund, line 230.424.1, Water Rescue, increase $250. Therefore, be it ordained by the Village Council of Waverly, Ohio, that the auditor and staff are authorized to adjust the various lines of the fund listed above to cover expenses in that fund. The second and third readings of this ordinance are hereby dispensed with, at least 5 members of council concurring. I so move.
I'll second it.
Okay, a motion and second for ordinance 62-2024. Is there any discussion?
To my knowledge.
Call the roll.
Brian Blakeman,
Aye.
Glass,
Aye.
Gideon,
Aye.
Sheridan,
Aye.
Forrest Blakeman,
Aye.
Bevins,
Aye.
Patterson.
Aye, motion carries. Next one is Resolution 63-2024. Second and third readings are dispensed. The purpose is to authorize the auditor to transfer $50,000 from the general fund to the fire fund. Skipper?
Resolution 63-2024, the purpose is to authorize the auditor to transfer $50,000 from the general fund to the fire fund. Whereas it is necessary to transfer money to cover existing and future expenses in the fire fund, whereas this transfer is necessary to cover expenses committed in the year 2024. Whereas the $50,000 is sufficient for this purpose and has been budgeted in the general fund for transfer in 2024. Therefore, be it resolved that the auditor is hereby authorized to transfer $50,000 of transfer money to the fire fund to cover expenses in that fund. The second and third readings of this resolution are hereby dispensed with, at least 5 members of council concurring. I so move.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and second for 63-2024. Is there any discussion?
I have a question. Debbie, do you know what this $50,000 transfer pertains to?
Not exactly, except that it's just cover expenses that they have. We already have it, but allotted, but it's like we transferred to the police department also,
It's not for a
It's-
new expense, an unforeseen
not that
expense?
I'm aware of.
Okay, that's what we were wondering.
Okay.
Yeah, I would think that any new expense at $50,000 would have to come through council before even
It
being
should.
being
And
approved.
$50,000
here in a
wouldn't
little
hit
bit.
This
anything.
is
A
probably
request is
just
gonna be
general
made for
transfer.
$50,000, so it just seemed,
We just thought it was odd that that was the number.
That
so
order.
We'll touch on it here in a little bit.
yep,
Okay.
that's all.
All right.
It's all for
Call the roll on this one.
Gideon,
Aye.
Sheridan,
Aye.
Glass,
Aye.
Brian Blakeman,
Aye.
Forrest Blakeman,
Aye.
Bevins,
Aye.
Patterson.
Aye, the motion carries. Next one is Resolution 64-2024, second and third readings to dispense. The purpose is to authorize the auditor to transfer, excuse me, I'm in the wrong one, sorry. Back it, gotta go down another. Resolution 64-2024, second and third readings dispense. The purpose is to authorize the auditor to transfer $25,000 from the general fund to the street, bridge and street and parks. Skimmer?
Before I read this, can I clarify, is it $25,000 that's being transferred, or is it $100,000 that's being transferred? Because we have two different figures listed.
I see that.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I'm gonna assume it's 25,000.
Yeah, I'd say it's 25,000 because,
This says 25.
I'm
the
gonna
bottom it
read
says
it
No,
as if
on
it's,
down in
Well,
the
we probably
reading,
need to
it
make
does
an
say
amendment to
100,000.
that.
so I'm gonna read it
portion.
as if it's 25,000.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah.
amend where it's reads
Where it says
that.
100,000 should be 25,000 at the
Should
bottom.
be.
Oh, I see it now,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's two different numbers, yeah,
Yeah.
Tom.
Okay,
So
we
we'll have
We
to,
need to amend
had to
that.
be
Yep.
another
So it's
order to
100,000
get to
to
100,000.
Right. Okay, I need a motion, a second to amend that 100,000 to 25,000 on 64-2024.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Call the roll.
Sheridan,
Aye.
Bevins,
Aye.
Brian Blakeman,
Aye.
Gideon,
Aye.
Glass,
Aye.
Forrest Blakeman,
Aye.
Patterson.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, Skimmer.
Resolution 64-2024, the purpose is to authorize the auditor to transfer $25,000 from the general fund to the Bridge, Street, and Parks Fund. Whereas it is necessary to transfer money to cover existing and future expenses in the Bridge, Street, and Parks Fund. Whereas this transfer is necessary to cover expenses committed in the year 2024. Whereas the $25,000 is sufficient for this purpose and has been budgeted in the general fund for transfer in 2024. Therefore, be it resolved that the auditor is hereby authorized to transfer $25,000 of transfer money to the Bridge, Street, and Parks Fund to cover expenses in that fund. The second and third readings of this resolution are hereby dispensed with, at least 5 members of council concurring. I so move.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion second for Resolution 64-2024. Is there any discussion?
Will this funds be used in the parks or will it be used for the streets?
For the parks.
For the parks, okay. All right, that's all I have.
All right, call the roll.
Brian Blakeman,
Aye.
Bevins,
Aye.
Glass,
Aye.
Forrest Blakeman,
Aye.
Gideon,
Aye.
Sheridan,
Aye.
Patterson.
Aye, the motion carries. Next one is Resolution 65-2024, second and third readings dispensed. The purpose is to move appropriations between lines within the individual funds budget appropriation. Skimmer?
Resolution 65-2024, to move appropriations between lines within individual funds budget appropriations. Whereas it is necessary to increase and decrease lines within the same fund to cover existing and future expenses. Whereas a request from the said fund's department head has been received, and whereas adjustments to the following are requested. Line General Fund, from line 100.468 GAAP conversion, decrease $11,000. To line 100.456 contracted services, increase $10,000. And to line 100.411 building maintenance, increase $1,000. Police fund line, from line 240.417 miscellaneous, decrease $2,000 to line 240.409 utilities, increase $2,000. Therefore, be it resolved by the Village Council of Waverly, Ohio, that the auditor and staff are authorized to adjust the various lines of the fund listed above to cover existing and future expenses in that fund. The second and third readings of this resolution are hereby dispensed with, at least 5 members of council concurring. I so move.
I'll second that.
We have a motion second for Resolution 65-2024. Is there any discussion? Call the roll.
Glass,
Aye.
Bevins,
Aye.
Forrest Blakeman,
Aye.
Sheridan,
Aye.
Brian Blakeman,
Aye.
Gideon,
Aye.
Patterson.
Aye, motion carried. Next one, the last one we got is Resolution 66-2024. Second and third readings are dispensed. The purpose is to purchase and sell window clings and magnets. Skimmer?
Sure will. Resolution 66-2024. A resolution to purchase and sell window clings and magnets. Whereas the Village of Waverly wishes to purchase and sell window clings and magnets with the new Waverly logo, and whereas the quotes for the window clings and magnets from Printex are attached hereto as Exhibit A, and whereas the Village of Waverly wishes to sell the window clings and magnets for $5 apiece, and whereas the Village of Waverly wishes for all proceeds to go to the Parks Fund. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Village of Waverly, Pike County, Ohio, as follows. Section 1, the Village of Waverly is hereby authorized to purchase window clings and magnets pursuant to the Printex quote. Section 2, the Village of Waverly is hereby authorized to sell the window clings and magnets for $5 apiece. Section 3, all proceeds from the sale of the window clings and magnets will go to the Parks Fund. Section 4, that this resolution be in full force at the earliest date allowed by law. The second and third readings of this resolution are hereby dispensed with, at least 5 members of council concurring. I so move.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and second for Resolution 66-2024. Is there any discussion? Call the roll.
Sheridan,
Aye.
Brian Blakeman,
Aye.
Bevins,
Aye.
Forrest Blakeman,
Aye.
Gideon,
Aye.
Glass,
Aye.
Patterson.
Aye, the motion carries. Okay. With that, I need the auditor's report.
I need a motion to pay the bills, please.
I will make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
A motion and second to pay the bills. Call the roll.
Bevins,
Aye.
Forrest Blakeman,
Aye.
Glass,
Aye.
Gideon,
Aye.
Brian Blakeman,
Aye.
Sheridan,
Aye.
Patterson.
Aye, motion carries. Okay. And we need to go into executive
Well,
session.
Skimmer has one.
I do have one more thing.
Okay, go
I
for
did,
it.
I did find what I was looking for.
All right.
So I was approached by members of the fire department. I've actually been approached a couple times and told them to proceed with what they were interested in doing. They had some interest in purchasing a bucket truck. The fire department specifically has some valid uses for it, but aside from that, some of the other department heads also have some valid uses for it. So some of the guys from the fire department went and checked out a 2017 Ford F-550 bucket truck at 56 Auto Sales in London, Ohio. Took it for a test drive, did a full inspection, actually took a video of it and sent it to me. I looked at it, it's a good looking truck. Some of the other stuff, compared to some of the other stuff that we've purchased, it's a pretty nice truck. They thought it would be extremely practical and beneficial, again, for their purposes, as did the other department heads. I believe they talked to the mayor about it, and I think it's a worthy investment. Now, as far as how the cost would be split or where the money should come from, because it's going to be split amongst the departments as far as use goes, I think it should, if it can just come out of the general fund, I think that's where the money should come from. But the total purchase price is $50,000 on the nose, which is why it seemed ironic that we had a $50,000 transfer proposed.
Well, that's
But-
why I was gonna ask, because I know when we initially had this conversation with the fire department and gave them the go-ahead, because I think we all agreed at that point that a bucket truck is very much necessary for a lot of our departments. Did they have the conversation that needed to be had in regards to where it would be stored and who would be able to drive the bucket truck? Because that was a big discussion in the beginning.
Yes, and Chief Minshaw has already said that anybody, before they can do the bucket truck itself, they have to go through training. They're gonna go through the harness training that you have to have. Nobody can go up in the bucket truck unless they've had that training, and that includes all street department, water department, and all that.
Good, okay.
They can store it at the water department, there's a place there to do it. We're also looking at possibly if we can clean out the area here, that we could store it in the garage here. So we're looking at several places that we could store it.
That would be fantastic.
But it's one of those things, like now, we're wanting to put the signs up on.
It's very much
the
needed.
bucket
I
truck.
absolutely
We
agree
could
with
have it,
that.
We could put the signs up ourselves.
Yeah.
Right.
And it would take, I mean, some of the stuff they do now, banners on 23. We use our fire truck for that, which, yeah, that works, but that's not really what a fire truck's designed to do. And there's only so many lifts that you can get out of a ladder on a fire truck, and every time we use it to do something that's not put out a fire, that's one less lift that we have.
Is it possible to
To come
just
out
pay it out of the general fund?
And I think it's something where a lot of the things that we need to do, like we have to rent out a bucket truck or something.
Oh, yeah,
with
it's
our guys
very
having
much
it,
needed.
And then them being certified in it.
I would
Like
just hate to
said,
see the fire department
they
take the
can't
brunt
use
of
They can't use it
the
unless they're
cost.
certified.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
I
we
would just hate to see the fire department take the brunt of the cost when it's going to be utilized by
Everybody.
everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for lots of different uses. I mean, we got Aaron certified to do some of the streetlight technician stuff. He's with the fire department, but him, addressing issues with streetlights is not a fire department, responsibility.
Right.
But, having the bucket truck available, there's a lot of stuff that we have to, if nothing else, wait on somebody to come service. Whereas if we already have what we need, we can take care of some of those issues immediately. Tree trimming, there's a number of things it can be utilized for. So I'm in favor of making that investment. Like I said, I haven't seen it firsthand, but the guys did go check it out. They took it for a test drive, inspected it. It's a sharp looking truck, and I think we can get plenty of use out of it.
Skimmer,
So I'd like
who would be paying for this?
Yeah, that's what.
Like, where would the money be coming from? Just the fire department,
Well,
or?
that's what we were discussing, to find out if it was able just to be.
The general
Remove
fund,
the general fund.
because
That way-
it wouldn't be a street department vehicle, it wouldn't be a water department vehicle, it wouldn't be a fire department vehicle. It would be a general purpose vehicle.
Be a Village of Waverly.
Yeah.
Would all
Be-
departments need it? Would, like the sewer department and all the departments would?
Yes, but they can't use it unless they're certified to use it.
I do know that,
And
John
Chief
said-
Mansell's taking care of all that.
yeah, I know that John Voorhees did say that they even had some uses for it, so. I
Haven't we
can't
had
speak to
one
the
before?
specifics.
I am not aware of that.
I thought someone said at one point that years ago we did have a bucket
Unfortunately,
truck.
do you know if they did? Did Village have one years ago?
Only bucket truck I ever know that's ever been used in Waverly is the one that we always, when we had the guy that done the lights and the signals and stuff.
But that was rented.
It was rented.
That was
belongs
Paul
to Paul Corcoran.
Corcoran.
Yeah.
And while I'm saying this, one other thing to keep in the back of your mind, I think that the fire chief already has to do this with his fire trucks. But bucket trucks have to be certified, period, in a given period. Let's say it's annually or biannually or something, they have to go up to, one of the companies and have a certification.
Yeah, he's gonna take care of all that.
And, but the only thing I got to say is in the past, in any departments or any place that we've ever bought a new or a used vehicle, it's always been financed and come out of their funds. Now, whichever department is requesting it, like we just bought a couple trucks, they're not too way back and it come out of their fund, and it was financed, and they make the payment out of their own funds, you know?
Forrest, we got an issue though with the fact that it's gonna be a city used vehicle for
Is
each department. And each department maybe only will use it, say, once a year, like, down at the sewer treatment plant. They may only need it once for the whole year. And then in the fire department, they use it, 10, 20 times a month. And so how are you going to, have them pay, they're not gonna pay if there's 4 departments and you're gonna split it up 4 times, and then one of them's like the sewer department, if they only use it once a year, they're not gonna get their fourth out of it. So so,
Well,
that's
yeah.
why we were talking about using the general fund so that it is a general, truck or,
Yeah. The only
something
thing
to
is,
be used.
I'll ask the same question I always ask.
Go ahead.
All right, this goes directly to her, and I want it put in the records, okay? Can we afford to take $50,000 out of the general fund at this present time?
We have that there, yes.
And if I may follow up on that, so I already checked on financing rates, and First National Bank can finance the purchase for 60 months with semi-annual payments at 5.32%, which is incredibly generous on their part,
Yeah, it is.
but they
no,
can do it.
Yeah, it
So
is, yeah.
we could finance the
Yeah.
50,000 for 5 years
I'm all for it.
at
Yeah,
5.32.
I just
Yeah,
don't,
we could-
I just
yeah,
don't
either
wanna
way.
break general fund
Okay.
or anything like that.
That would work.
Instead of doing a lump sum out of
Mhm.
general fund, the general fund would pay
Finance it instead of doing
the
one lump
payments
sum.
for 5 years.
Okay,
Do it that way.
And we
Yeah.
could even purchase it if it was, wanted to just get it done tomorrow. We could write a check and we could take it there and we could get the truck and we could come back and we could refinance it with First National Bank
Yeah,
for $50,000 at 5.32% semi-annual payments, or finance 40,000 of it, however we want to do it. But
Either way, if we can afford it, if the money is there and it's not going to hurt us, I would prefer to pay it outright rather than
be
finance it.
better
But
to
if
pay.
financing
Right,
it was
it's
a
gonna be
better
cheaper.
option, then
yes.
Pay
Yeah,
for
that
it.
way we're not getting a big lump sum all at once and that
All at
leaves us
once.
money.
either way, I'm
That's
absolutely
like-
good with
I
it.
think the loan sounds good.
They're
I
both
like it
very
like
good
Forrest is
options.
saying, that taking time to pay it, that way we're not taking 50,000.
taking it all
right
out at one time.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, we may have something come up that we may
Right.
need that money
yeah,
for
we might
something
need it,
else.
right,
Except for
and then that
snow.
gives
This way
us
we
5
can
years
just-
to,
This way we
That's
can
good.
just make
Good.
monthly
Yeah.
payments
It's not that
or
early.
Yeah.
whatever you wanna make on it,
yeah,
you know.
that's good,
Yeah, you see where my point
yeah,
is.
I do,
I mean,
Okay.
that's
Sounds
exactly what I'm saying.
yeah,
I just wanna make sure that something might come up that we don't need the money for something
Right.
else.
right,
And, I think that's my responsibility to look after that
yeah,
stuff.
I like
And, and every time we do that, I always ask the same questions, okay? If you check, I always do ask the same questions.
Right.
So, that's, if that,
May I make one suggestion?
no, I'm kidding.
On my experience with the city of Chillicothe is when multiple departments have control over a vehicle, then all of a sudden there's a gray area of maintenance.
yeah,
If the fire department has control over this vehicle,
They have to take-
especially since it involves certifications, okay, they already have to do certifications on their vehicles, so, some of their vehicles, so they know what they have to do and when and such. That would probably be a good thing to consider on this. to
yeah,
have
very
one,
good, very good point,
And that's just from experience, what we went
Yes.
through up there. We shared vehicles up there sometime.
right,
Before you know it, it's gone for, 100,000 miles without an oil change or stuff. But in this case, it's a dangerous vehicle.
right,
It potentially, excuse me. These vehicles can be a little dangerous, if they're not maintained, certified, operator,
Right.
trained, so forth, so.
okay, very good point, thanks.
yeah, very good point, yeah.
So I need a motion to approve the purchase of the vehicle.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
We need a second motion to finance it, then won't we? Do we?
If we've decided that we want to do that.
Did you second that, Brian? I'm sorry.
did.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so in the future, we've got to figure out whether we're gonna finance it or take a loan back.
Say we just take it and finance it,
Finance it.
that way, like I said, we're not hitting the lump
That
sum.
way you're not getting
us
paid
time.
on the lump sum.
Just
Something
give us,
happens, that money's still there.
we'll do this to purchase it, and then we'll do
Yeah,
second
then when we
to
get
give us
the,
the okay to go ahead and finance it.
right.
Yeah,
I-
but,
I-
and then
we
speaking
can
of
do
that, that is one thing that I would maybe like to see in regards to finance is exactly what all we currently have financed. I know that we're okay, obviously, but I would hate to see us get into a position where we're just constantly financing things and we have a lot of money going out in interest also per year. Because we have financed a lot just in the last couple years that I've been here. And I've never really sat down to just see and never seen it on paper, how much we have financed and what we're paying in interest.
that would.
There is a form available. I did see it last year when I was on the finance committee. And we really didn't have that much financed.
Yeah, I would just like to see it. And I'm
I think
sure
it was one- it was
Christina
one
could probably get
page.
that.
What's that?
With you
We
being
don't.
on finance, the list of everything that we have financed.
And the police vehicles.
We have had some expenses
And I
come
think
up this
that's
year
it.
that
Police
have been
vehicles.
pushed off and pushed off and
Yeah.
pushed off and pushed off, and now it's time to, we gotta get them addressed, so we have, you're right, we have taken on some debt this year, but luckily, our local financial institutions have been very supportive of us.
Oh,
and generous
absolutely.
with the financing options they provided.
Just like the mayor said, I have no objections to getting it, okay? But I just, you know, it's good, you know, good amount of money, and like I said, if we finance it, you know, we just make that, that's the only payment we have to make.
Yeah.
And if the other money is still there, we've still got it if something else comes up.
Right.
But she is right, you know, you can, it would be a good idea how much we have got financed.
it would.
And how much we have, that would give us an idea where we stand,
Right.
and,
Make
and
sure we're not,
of course,
Overextending ourselves.
yes. Very good.
So, I guess I need a motion to, finance the purchase. Well, did we even vote?
We haven't voted.
We haven't voted
We
on it.
have,
We haven't voted
yeah,
on
we
it.
need
Yeah,
to vote.
Let's vote on buying the
Yes.
bucket truck
We're gonna
first.
buy
Yeah,
the
yeah.
truck for $50,000,
okay,
and then there's gonna be another motion come
To
after
finance
that.
it.
okay.
To, on the finance part of it. Okay, this is just the purchase of the vehicle for $50,000.
Okay.
Okay, call the roll.
Forrest Blakeman,
Aye.
Brian Blakeman,
Aye.
Glass,
Aye.
Sheridan,
Aye.
Gideon,
Aye.
Bevins,
Aye.
Patterson.
Aye, motion carried.
And now I would like to make a motion to finance the purchase of that bucket truck with First National Bank for 60 months at 5.32% with semi-annual payments.
I'll second that.
What was the percentage?
5.32.
532.
That's pretty good right now.
Yeah,
That's
that's really
below,
good.
really
that's
good
well
right
below market, especially on
Well,
2017.
Yeah.
That's,
I'm sorry.
It's unheard of.
It doesn't matter at this point.
Okay.
They're gonna do what they're gonna do.
Got it?
Mhm.
Okay, all right. Any further discussion on this? We got the financing come down. All right, call the roll.
Glass,
Aye.
Bevins,
aye.
Brian Blakeman,
Aye.
Sheridan,
Aye.
Forrest Blakeman,
Aye.
Gideon,
Excuse me, aye.
Patterson.
Aye, motion carries. Okay,
I'm done.
Motion to go into executive session.
okay, now I need a motion to adjourn from regular session and go into executive session on a personnel problem.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion and second. All right, call the roll.
Brian Blakeman,
Aye.
Glass,
Aye.
Gideon,
Aye.
Sheridan,
Aye.
Forrest Blakeman,
Aye.
Bevins,
Aye.
Patterson.
Aye, motion carries. I might state that there will be no motions or voting or anything like that.
No
This
action
is
to
just-
follow.
No action. This is just a,
Yes, you guys
Just
are off.
discussion.
Sorry, I was giving you the nice finger. Hold on a minute so I can stop
Okay,
it.
now-
Does somebody have my cell phone number so they can text me?
Wait a
To let me
minute.
know to come back in?
You got your key to get in?
Yeah,
Just stand out there at the window.
How you doing, Matt?
it's fine. I'll just stand out there. I'll enjoy the
That's
warm
really the-
weather. Here. Here's my
Okay.
cell.
It's almost
Text me to come back in. I'm not gonna stand by the door like a
okay,
little puppy.
all right, okay.
Okay, I just wanna real quick make sure, yes, you guys are done.
I'll wait for Forrest to come out of the bathroom.
Forrest is in
Everybody
the
sign up for
bathroom.
the fair?
No,
I took a picture of it. I gotta check my schedule before
I did,
can
but I
commit
might
to
change it.
anything.
I'll do that while I'm
Plus,
standing
I don't
out
wanna do
there.
it by myself.
Did you hit the button?
Yes, you guys are,
So we're
will you
not on.
triple check me?
I don't know what button I'm checking.
Just make sure it says it's stopped or, yeah, okay. Stop streaming. I would just really, I would really be failing at my job if that would happen.
So, question, if it's blue, does that mean it's not streaming, or if it's blue, does that mean you have to click it to make it stop streaming?
Ooh.
So from what I understand, once I hit stop, it's supposed to stop.
I know has somebody I could text and find out.
Yeah. See how it's blue? I didn't know if you were supposed to hit that to make it stop.
This was,
I didn't think we were still on.
We're off, we're good.
we're good.
Don't touch any buttons.
All right, I'm not touching anything. I'm out. But when I hit stop, it said, you will not be able to reconnect, your stream will stop, and you will no longer be live. So that made me think we were still live.
I think we were.
I don't know.
Good thing I didn't say anything bad.
Is the sign-up sheet over there,
I
Angel?
think that's,
It's for the fair.
oh, no.
She took it with her.
Oh, okay. I think I wanna change
take
it.
a picture of it because I don't know what my schedule's like.
He's gonna kill himself. If he's gonna kill himself, if he don't.
I signed up by myself and I don't wanna do it by myself.
I agree.
We'll have a sign-in, sign-out sheet for that and a schedule if someone needs to utilize that truck. They'll have to sign, they will have to sign it out and
Yeah,
sign
they
it
can't just-
before they get the key.
Yeah.
It won't just be a free
Like, they'll
for all.
have the key, it'll be locked, they won't be able to.
Can I see the sign-up sheet?
Are we live?
Back.
Shelley said we weren't.
I know, she told me she wasn't either, and she just called me back
See?
real quick. and
Okay,
said,
so then I should have hit yes on that.